Hello, everyone. So, a while back, I built a website builder. Right now, I'm going to shut off the servers and all the information, all how it works. It's still going to be in the cloud, but for now, the servers are going to be turned off just to avoid paying for the compute, the unused compute. Right now, I'm going to explain the architecture, what I built, what I used for the front end, what I used for the back end, show a demo on how it works. And if you want to buy parts of the software or want to discuss this or just want to take over the project and keep on building, please reach out. So let's dive into the demo. As you can see, this is the main website. Then we have a development website. So there's actually two servers. They're replicas of each other. If we log in, well, right now I was already logged in. Let me just log out, log back in. Simple sign up. Same for the development environment. Really simple sign up. Two different authentication servers in the backend. They're using AWS Cognito. So if we log in, we actually see two websites. The first website, we can visit it. We can also visit the second. The first one's a template for a construction company here in Mexico. It was just a prototype. We never pursue this further. So we can see some text there in Mobiliaria Homa. If we go back to the editor where we clicked on to edit that website, we see the same text. If we go to the images, right now I removed that template, so some images will be missing, but the logo should be there, and yeah, so the basics should be there. But if we go to the restaurant place, which is the more complete one, we also click on it to edit, and we can also open the website right now so you can see a change. So I made this change, right? It says display restaurant in the previous one. Right now it says Schiffscanteen. This is because the content is saved in the cache so that you don't make thousands of API requests in every load. So if I just remove the cache as shown here, the website right now refreshes. You don't have to do this manually. It automatically does this every 5 minutes or so, I think. So yeah, no worries on doing that. It's just so that it appeared immediately. Then you have the images. All the images are connected to CloudFront CDN stored in S3, so it's cheap and simple storage. Every single image you see on the other website comes from here. So yeah, then we have this Google Maps integration, simple stuff. Just you can add your Google Maps location, and then we have the menu where you have like the actual substance of the website. So it's that third tab we just clicked. Here you can see the cake, whatever, salads, more cakes. So jumping back to the menu functionality, we can play around with it. We can add some stuff. This is, the thing that actually makes this a useful website, right? You can also have some nice navigation features, like just clicking on the stuff and directly sliding to them. Then there's some filtering, so if we don't like watermelon, for example, we can remove anything that has watermelon. And we can do the same thing for other ingredients. We could try basil, for example, which is in this salad. So if you remove basil, it's gone. So let's go back to the editing menu. So if we go back, we can actually create a new website. We're doing this in the main domain, so production. Example restaurant templates. We only have the restaurant template right now, but you can add more templates, and templates are very easy to connect. You just connect to our APIs, and then that hydrates all your website with the information that you want to use. You put in some text there. ChatGPT should fill it in with whatever it thinks goes accordingly to your template. Then you can choose from a big variety of fonts, and they're all from Google Fonts. So let's see for one that looks cool. Yeah, that one looks okay. Handjet looks like retro. So we can just look it up. Handjet. Select that one. Pick a color for a website. Let's go for simple green. Mexican restaurant. And boom, that's how you build a simple website. Right now the domain has to connect, so it will not appear immediately. It takes like 3 minutes. we log into the editing. We can just change the name. Let's call that example restaurant. Change something else. The history. Let's put in whatever. We can save those changes, and we can also check images, change content, all the stuff that we've previously seen. We preload some images for you on recently created websites so that it looks okay, but there's nothing in the menu, so we could start by adding something. So let's say we want to add, I don't know, the only thing that I have in my computer right now, it's the fish and chips image, so let's go for that. Simple name, fish and chips, description, whatever we feel like writing. Click on next, then we can add tags. So this is, yeah, for sure, seafood, ingredients. Let's go for, oh, fish is not there. Let's go for potato, yeah, and bread maybe. Yeah, let's add bread. So if we do that, we go to the pricing area where we can add a price, and we can add different varieties or sizes. So let's say we add the small fish. We can also add a pricier, bigger fish. Let's do that and create it. If we create this and we now go to the website we just created, it will probably be connected by now. Let's see. Yeah. So there it goes. It's the color we chose. The font looks kind of blurry, but I think it's just the font that we used. It's probably not ideal for this website. And whatever. Let's just go to the menu, see if the fish and chip appears. Yeah, there we go. Fish and chips, we can see there's sizes, big, small. You can add that to the cart. You can check your order, place order, whatever. So now if we go back to the editor, we can click on this final icon, the small gear up there. You can change basic configs for your website. So you could change the font. You can also play around with the colors. You can drag whatever color you want, put in the hex. Doesn't matter, you can save that for now. Let's just go back. Here, if we are back into our main website and click on the meta configurations, we can add the social media. So whatever link you add will appear in the footer of the website with the logo. We can also add a location. So let's say this is, yeah, whatever restaurant, Shake Shack, Madison Square Garden, yeah. Okay, cool. So we save that. And finally, if we were done with this website, we could delete it as well. So you can just delete from here. You confirm the deletion and go for it. The final thing that we're missing is the checkout button, but for that, let's go to the development website. Yep. So that we use the development mode Stripe and we don't get billed anything. I'll just put in the famous 4242 card, pay. This goes to the backend, logs that transaction, put it in the database, so Stripe's already working. That's all that's built so far. So if you want to keep on building, I'd be happy to pass this along. You can see the user information, some basic stuff, but I think this is it for the demo. So the architecture as a whole looks like this. If we zoom in, we have the client, which connects to two clouds. So we have AWS on one side and Google Cloud on the other. That one's really simple. We just bring the maps and the fonts directly from there without going through our proprietary API logic or anything else. Then the web client connects for authentication with Cognito, which is an AWS service. And then we have API requests and CDN connections, right? So API requests, once again, check authentication with Cognito so that you cannot get, I don't know, websites from another user. And then the CDN connects with CloudFront, which is used for web hosting and for static files with our S3 bucket. So all the images, everything, meta files come from the CDN. Then the API gateway connects to some custom logic with Lambda, which then goes up for the DB queries with RDS. It's using MySQL. And Stripe has a webhook that connects to our API gateway, and which goes into some lambdas and registers Stripe transactions and everything else into the database. So as a whole, this is the architecture. It's quite simple and it's mostly AWS. Then for developers, it's really simple stuff to create an API. So you write the code. When you commit, there's a hook that checks the linter and the formatter. You push to GitHub. GitHub action is triggered. This goes once again through the linter, through the formatter. It builds the Docker image, and then with the AWS CLI, we deploy that image to an ECR, Elastic Container Registry, which is then connected to a AWS Lambda function. So all our Lambdas run through images. Then the development experience in the front end, it's also quite simple. So we do use TypeScript. So again, per commit hook, you check format with prettier, linter with ESLint, goes to GitHub, GitHub triggers AWS Amplify. Then once again, we have the linter and the formatter happening in Amplify for the build, and then Amplify deploys everything. So as a whole, this is the architecture. This is what was built. So if you're interested in following up with this, in buying this or whatever, reach out.